Hey guys, welcome back to the in-game tutorial where I help you walk through it with some advice and tips and tricks and explaining some details to help you along. So we just discovered enough civics to unlock the first government, or the first civic rather, the code of laws. So let's jump in. Right, so what do they mean by that? This culture plus 1.8 finally got us code of laws. So let's see what it means. You can see the exclamation mark appeared right here, okay? At the government icon. That means you can change things in there. So you should click on it. There are many types of governments in civilization. In addition to various benefits, each government has a number of slots in which you can enact policies. The first government available is your chiefdom. It has 2 available slots for policies. The first slot is chiefdom is military, and the second one is economic policies. Okay, let's see. So, yeah, there are no bonuses here. The bonuses will appear for other governments of a high tier. To slot in the policy, click and drag. Try now by adding discipline. So you can read, right? So you have 2 choices. One is discipline, which is super important. I think most of the players choose discipline early because it provides you combat bonus against the barbarians. The other military policy that's available right away is for the scouts. So, I mean, they will earn the experience faster, which is not that important because they can gain experience by just walking into tribal villages. So let's select discipline. And now we obviously cannot put survey here, right? Because it's a military policy. And you can, they differ by colors. The darker red ones are military. The yellow colored ones are economic policies. All right, so which policy should we choose? Well, it depends. We can go for urban planning and production, but early in the game, right now, we're not earning any faith per turn, right? So, and God King policy will actually allow you to earn faith, and faith will get you something like a pantheon. So, usually, I would go with a God King if it's 0 faith. Because production you can always improve through tiles. Just like building a quarry or mines or whatever else. Much in the same way, you research new technologies and by generating science, in your cities. So let's see, what is the next thing that the game wants to teach us? Much of the same way you research new technologies by generating science in your cities, you unlock civics by generating culture. Okay, so science for technology, culture for civics. Blue, technology, purple for the civics. You have already unlocked Code of Laws, and it allowed us the first government, and now we have to select another one. And you can see that the game is telling you again in this corner, it says choose civic, okay? Oh, so now we can actually access the tree. It didn't allow us to click on the technology tree, actually. Maybe I missed it. Similar to the technology tree, the civics tree has different choices and paths, and for this tutorial, click on the craftsmanship. So each civic and technology can be boosted. Civics are boosted by inspiration, right? So all these little things to boost, do this. Those are like little missions, and these are awesome, actually, in guiding what you could do or should do throughout the game. So improving 3 tiles with the builder boosted the craftsmanship, meaning that there's much less time we need to spend on researching it. These are extremely valuable. Wow, this is a 50% boost. That's pretty awesome. You can see that foreign trade has a boost of discovering a second continent. So I'm not sure this is going to happen in this map, but on many maps, as you explore with your scout, eventually he's going to come across a continent, which will boost foreign trade. Right, so let's go with craftsmanship. Oh, so we can click on the tree here. Okay, so we're researching irrigation, as you can see. We can boost astrology by finding natural wonder. Again, scout. We can mine a resource and boost wheel. Again, builder actions. There are a lot of things that you can boost by scouting, exploring, and improving land. So build a quarry and also doing military things like kill 3 barbarians. We already killed one. Build a pasture. Again, another improvement. Improve 2 sea resources. You see what I'm saying? Build an iron mine. Another improvement. And then building buildings inside the city itself, like walls, a watermill. So all these things you should really try to figure out and complete. Think of them as small quests, if you will. So unit need orders. So you always check your corner to see what's happening. As you click on it, it will center the screen right on your unit. In this case, it's a scout, and we want to check out the tribal village. 26 gold. So we have 95 gold. That's pretty good. See, if I click on the city, it brings up the menu. If I click on the production, oh, I can't click on purchase item with gold yet. Oh, wait, let's see. Aha! So there's production. You can purchase things with gold. You can purchase things with faith, which is different. All right, so we only have 95 gold, meaning that we can purchase a slinger. Oh, that's cool. Or a scout. If we save more gold, we will be able to purchase a settler, a granary, or monument, because right now we don't have enough gold. As you can see, it's red, and it also says on the tooltip, not enough gold in the treasury to purchase this. We are earning plus 6 gold. How do we know that? It's right here. The palace is actually in the capital. And the first city is earning plus 5. That's awesome. And then there's another plus 1 gold coming from God King. As you can see, it's plus 1 faith right here. Now we're earning it. And plus 1 gold, which is in addition to the palace, makes it plus 6. Okay. All right. Well, I want to keep moving this way. I can even click on the scout and, click on this next tile. Obviously, I can't move on this turn, but as I click next turn, the game will automatically move the scout there. Oh, so we build a monument. That's great. Your city has finished production of monument building, which is great. You know what it's going to do? It's going to contribute to city development. In this case, monument will increase culture generated by the city, which is so important. The more culture you generate, the faster you go through the civics tree. The more science you generate, the faster you go through the technology tree. And there are buildings. There are buildings and other things that will help you increase science and culture production, as well as gold. All right, so monument will also help push the borders of the city faster. Okay, so it will acquire new tiles. Okay, so she's saying basically it's time to build another settler, I bet. Open the production and begin another settler. So see, in my opinion, maybe it is a good idea for a settler, or maybe it's a good idea to build a slinger, for example, and go find barbarians and kill 3 of them and boost. I don't remember what civic it was, but there was a boost that we could do, an inspiration to one of the civics by killing 3 barbarians. Anywho, let's see. Go into the city and select a settler. You could see that it would take 6 turns to build a settler, which is nothing. I mean, nothing. It's a low cost, right? And you can see that in the beginning of the game, when the population of the city was 2, it would take, it showed, or one, it showed that the settler would take 11 turns, right? Because the production was only like 5. Now it's half, right? Half the turns it takes to build a settler, only 6, basically, because the production is doubled. All right, now we clicked to go forward automatically, but now we can still click it ourselves to move it forward. Now you can see that these tiles, look at them, 3 production, those are high production tiles. So instead of doing 1 production, right, or even 2, you could do 3 production and increase. Imagine if the city is working all of these 3 tiles, your new city. That would be awesome. The problem with these things is that there isn't enough food for the city to grow. So you have to combine things. You build mines, you build farms. You have to ensure that your city keeps growing. You don't want it to stall. But you also want to ensure that your city has high production so that you can build buildings and units. Well, we just keep going, 1 tile at a time around the coast. So there are different types of woods, right? Like these are regular woods, northern hemisphere, and these are rainforests or jungles, and they're different in a sense. But I hope the game will explain the difference of landscape to us. If not, I will. Okay, so now what do we have? Keep warriors inside the city. Okay. Complete the training. Fine. And we're gonna keep going. All right. So you hear this sound, that means something happened. You can see that the craftsmanship just completed. And immediately you can pick the new civic. Every time the civic is completed, you're going to get this exclamation mark because you can change the policies for free, right? If there is no exclamation mark here, that means that you're going to have to pay to replace or change policies, okay? Right now, we're building a settler, okay? There's no policy that will help us build a settler faster. However, there is a policy, ILCUM, that helps to build builders faster, as you can see. There is also a new policy of AGOG that helps us build units, military units faster. Melee, which is like the warrior, for example. Anti-cavalry, which is like a spearman. And range units, which is like a slinger or archer. Right now, we're not building any units, so there's really no point in changing anything, in my opinion. So we'll just leave it as is, but it's a good idea to check. Now we are ready to choose the next civic. This choice will depend on what victory you're going for, or if there are any boosts, for example. Right now we don't have any boosts, so I'm thinking maybe we're going to discover a new continent. We're definitely not going to clear a barbarian outpost, I don't think. At least in this game right now, in this tutorial. And I don't think we're building any district just yet. So we'll just go with the foreign trade. Foreign trade, again, allows creation of trade routes. What trade routes do? They bring gold by building trader units. So you build a trader unit, you send it somewhere. But we haven't found any civilization yet, any neighboring or opposing civilization. Okay. There are resources in the ocean, as you can see. By the way, you can remove the icons, right, when you're exploring, but I always keep the icons on as I explore just to see, like, okay, how does my land look? Like, where, like, I'm going to finish this settler. Where am I going to send them, right? Because you want to send the settler to a land or and settle a land that has good tiles around to work, right? You don't want to send them like here. There's nothing around. So like 2 food, there's no production, right? So that is something that we need to consider. And here the game is telling you that the tribal village was discovered, which is great. It's right here, because sometimes you don't know where it is. You'll be like here on the map doing something. You're like, oh, what is this? You click on it, boom, it brings you to the village. You're like, awesome. That means I want to go in it. I'll have to wait until next turn. As is often the case in history, technological discoveries inspire new technologies. Okay, here we go. Building upon knowledge gained in the past. In a game of civilization, this is simulated by the technology tree. Click to open the technology tree. Let's do it. That's how people understand. Okay. The technology tree displays all of the researchable technologies available in a game of civilization, from ancient era all the way to information. The gold-colored nodes, okay, so they call it gold, okay. That means that you've already finished researching. So you remember we researched pottery, mining, and irrigation. And the gray ones obviously represent the technologies that are not complete and you can start researching. Light gray technologies are not available to begin researching yet. These technologies need to first be unlocked by researching one or more prerequisite technologies. Okay. And you can see these dotted lines, right, connecting these technologies. So the solid line means, okay, we got this path through. There's no line coming from irrigation, right? So that means there are no, irrigation is not the prerequisite for anything. However, can I move? Nope, I can't. You can see that we can't research archery because prerequisite is animal husbandry. However, we can research any of these because mining that we already researched is the prerequisite for these, so they become available. Since we have already researched pottery, we're now able to begin research on the writing. Sure, we can. Oh, we could have researched masonry, for example, and build walls, but whatever. But writing is a good idea because it has campus. And what does campus do? It boosts your science because essentially throughout the game, this is the whole point. You want to go through the technology and civics tree as fast as possible. That's all. You can outpace other civilizations in tech and civics. For example, in order to achieve the science victory, you basically have to complete the whole science tree, along with a lot of different civics. And so, because civics will allow you to discover governments, and governments will allow you to use different government policies, which will give you different bonuses and allow you to research faster, or provide food to your people, or build units faster, or whatever. Notice the writing technology node status has changed. Okay, so now it's like blue, indicating it's currently being researched. You see the running cog here, I guess. It's going to take 8 turns. This number 1 shows that this is next in line that we're researching. Now, if turns required to finish research is indicated in the upper right here, 8 turns. The symbols displayed inside the technology node represent new units, buildings, wonders, and abilities unlocked by the technology. For example, once you have finished researching the writing technology, you will be able to construct campus district, right? We already hovered over it. As well as the library building in all of your cities. So library, first you build campus, then you can upgrade your campus by building a library in it, which will provide even more science, basically. The campus and library allow you to increase the amount of science you generate each turn, allowing you to research technologies faster. So the whole point, right? To research things faster. Perfect. All right, so the game told us we're still doing these things. So you have to go through the civics tree. Again, like I mentioned before, we have a unit list as well here, just to know how many units we have. So all you have to do is just show hide. Okay. You can even hide these things as well. Doesn't really matter. Everybody usually keeps them open so you know how much time you have left on a technology. or civics research, and what are they going to provide. Ooh, great people. All right. So at this point, we're looking pretty good. Again, we still haven't gotten on how to manage the city yet. I don't know, but there is a logic to this tutorial, so I'll just go with it. Oh, so there is another unmet player on this map. This map is probably very small, and there's probably just one continent, I guess. But you can see that we are earning more faith than the other guy. We have more military strength. I guess he probably has the same amount of units too. Culture, we gain 3.9. The other guy less, because otherwise he would be here. Okay, this is your world ranking view for overall. Different type of victories, right? So for example, for the science, we have to go through the technology tree and research rocketry and launch Earth satellite and other things. For the culture, we have to earn as much tourism as possible, which is also a separate tutorial. Domination, well, domination would be easy here because we just build up an army and go and kill this freaking guy. And then religion is another thing where you have to build religious units to convert the whole world to your own religion, and you won. All right, well, let's go to the next turn. Wait, that's more gold? Okay. You probably just saw that a little XP going in there. So you can see this tiny line that says XP, right? So this means unit experience. The more things, so this stationing your warrior in the city, not doing anything, not fighting by barbarians, will never earn them any experience. As the scout walks around and discovers tribal villages, he's earning experience. So eventually we'll be able to promote him. See, right now he's 14 out of 15 XP points until the next level. So that means the next time he earns experience, we can promote him. Promotions are super important for your units. Okay. Again, nothing for us to do. Just keep moving the unit. A lot of civilization time is spent doing exactly that. We are waiting for the city to build stuff, and we are moving, exploring. Sometimes it can get very busy. If you're at war, for example, you have to move a bunch of units. So we finished our settler. Okay. So she's telling us, you build the settler, right? You don't want to send the settler without an escort, because settler cannot defend himself. Units like settlers and builders are non-combat. They're civilian units and cannot defend themselves. This leaves them highly vulnerable to be captured or killed by enemy units. Usually your enemy will capture them. If they capture your settler, if barbarians capture your settler, it'll probably stay as a barbarian settler and eventually you can get it back. Same with the builder. But if another civilization captures your settler, they're just going to use it to build a city for themselves. And the same with the builders. They're just going to use up their charges for their own benefit. Your military units can act as protection for the civilian units. Okay, so how do we do this? Like, 2 civilian units cannot be on the same tile together, and 2 military units cannot be on the same tile together. But military and civilian units can, for the purpose of escort formation. So in this case, we have the warrior there, fortified. We have the settler. We can link them together. Meaning that now the settler is protected by the warrior. There's an area rich in resources. Well then. I mean, that area is not explored. I think the game thought maybe we would have moved this way, east instead of west. So now you don't want to move your settler into unexplored territory, okay? If it was my choice, I would probably move my settler this way. But in this case, why not? Let's go figure it out. What do they want us to do? Begin moving the units. I can't even see this. To indicate a map marker. Seriously? Like they want us to do this? This is not a good idea. Okay, so they're saying now we don't have enough military units. So perhaps, once player loses all these cities, the game is over. It's very important to protect your cities, especially your capital. Here's the thing though. You have to protect your capital from the barbarians and other cities from the barbarians, but the barbarians can destroy your cities except your capital. Your capital will never die from the barbarian threat. So if you lost all of your units and barbarians are surrounding it, they will just kill themselves trying to take it because they won't be able to take it. Just the game doesn't allow that. However, another civilization can definitely take your capital and you lose right away. The domination victory condition is to conquer all capitals or capitals of every civilization in the game. So what do we want to do? They want us to train a slinger. So slinger is a different type of unit than a warrior. Okay, the warrior is a melee unit. A melee unit can attack a city and actually take over the city, conquer it. A slinger is a ranged unit. You see it says promotion class ranged. Ranged unit can attack a city, can attack other units, but it cannot conquer a city. It'll just stay outside of the city and do nothing. So if you go to war, you definitely need melee units or cavalry to actually conquer cities. All right, let's build a slinger. Yeah, it's a good idea. Slingers is a good idea, especially considering the fact that you will be able, as you research and you go through the tree, right, of technology, let's say, your slinger will be able to be upgraded to archer. And archer is a pretty decent unit in the ancient era. And why are they talking about eras? Well, you see this slider at the bottom? So this is ancient era. Where does it end? Boom, here's the border. Classical era has a different set of technologies. They're more expensive. They get progressively expensive with every era. But the whole idea is that that's why you have to keep up with increasing your technology output. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind. It's going to take you forever to research techs if you don't increase your technology output. Same goes for the civics. Because right now, look at the atomic area. It'll take us 265 turns to research advanced flight, for example, at +3 tech. Because this technology requires 944 science. Okay. Writing only requires 33 science. So we can afford to actually go through it relatively quickly. All right. Still going with the scout. Ooh, a new resource. By the way, every continent will have 4, I think, luxury resources. So in this case, we already found coffee. We found chocolate. That means there are 2 more resources here that could be useful to us. Lots of useless tiles. I mean, these tiles are horrible. 2 yield, 1 food, 1 production. Awful. Never put a city like in the middle here. This is just useless. Need to look for a better city placement with better tiles around it with higher. And what are the better tiles? Well, the tiles with higher yields, like this one, 2-2. Next to it is another 4 yield tile, 1-3. And so imagine if you put a city here on the river, you're going to have access to 1, 2, 3 great tiles right away. So this is a good city spot. Oh, And there is another 2-2 tile right there, meaning that your city will eventually grow to the second ring of tiles, right? So eventually you'll be able to work this tile, or you'll be able to buy it for the city to work, because these 2-2 tiles are awesome for your city growth. I'm gonna keep walking. Ooh, and now we have tundra. Well, tundra is completely useless. And I'm talking about average civilizations, right? Not with special abilities or traits for tundra. Your city in the tundra, I mean, it's 1 foot. It's horrible. You shouldn't build cities in the tundra. Unless there are resources of some sort. All right, finally. So, the game will suggest locations for your cities, and usually they're not bad. So as a beginner, you should probably follow what the game suggests. So in choosing a location, you say it's important to look for fertility, proximity of food, resources, fresh water. It's all important. For this tutorial, we have already found an ideal location for you. Okay, it's right here. They want us to do it. When your settler unit is able, click the Found City button. Okay. But let me click on the settler. We can't do anything. They want us to found the city because they mentioned fresh water, but we can't see it on the map. There is no such option here. So you would usually see fresh water if you click on the settler. It will show you the tiles colored in different shades of green as well as gray. They're suggesting this spot because it's on the river. Every tile adjacent to the river has fresh water. Fresh water means a lot of housing. Housing means that your population cap keep increasing, meaning they will allow you to grow. Food increases population. So if you have a lot of food, your population can grow. But you're going to reach a limit in housing. Housing is like a cap on population growth. So housing should grow with the population growth. Okay. And the best tiles are next to fresh water. Fresh water is basically rivers, lakes, and oases. Coast is not fresh water, it's salt water. But coast will provide you one housing. So coastal tiles. So it's not bad. When I mentioned for the game to suggest city placements, here they are. These are little advisor icons. Will tell you different things. Okay. So in this case, this tile says, okay, it's fresh water, right? It's right there on the river. It has regional yield. Okay, strong yields. I'm not seeing any yields. They're saying that yields within 3 tiles. You know how long it's going to take the city to grow to this chocolate? Immediate ring around this city is these tiles. They're horrible. Not good. If you move here, like this tutorial is suggesting, that's definitely a better choice because you have stone right here. You have 2 tile right there, and you have chocolate. It's awesome. Now, this city is suggested by the game as well. Inner ring. Okay, so inner ring strong yield. Why are inner ring strong? I don't understand. That's dumb. Inner ring here is good. Well, I mean, there are 2 1s, right? 2 1, 1 2. They're not strong. They're okay. There's really no benefit to this city except that there's a lot of potential for farms. So it's going to grow. And eventually you'll be able to build like lumber mills on these woods, increasing production. Another benefit of the city is that they'll be able to build a harbor. But for the cities on the coast, you might as well build it on the coast, instead of one tile in. Because then your harbor will have a better gold output, for example. Anyway, there's another suggested spot. It's on fresh water again. Actually, not bad. It has hills and woods and decent 2-2 tile right here and 1-3 tile right here and another 1-3 tile. So that's not bad. They're suggesting this city because it's right next to the fish, but not much else, and it's not on the river, so the housing is going to be lower. This is, I'm not sure why. Right on top of this tile. What's going to happen here, well, it's more advanced, but your city is not going to have 3 production when you found it. See, this city has 2 food and 1 production. Usually that's what happens. When you found a city on any tile, except Plains Hills, actually. We can't see what this tile is because tooltip is not coming up for the tile. All right, so let's go ahead and found the city. Boom. Well, we're spreading. Now we have 2 cities. All right, so this city, just like the capital, will have the same type of things that we have to do with it. So you can see it's going to take 5 turns to grow, okay, because we have 2 food surplus. That means it's working either one of these. Still can't manage. It's probably working either this tile or the chocolate. Oh, it's definitely working the chocolate. You know why? Because it has +3 gold. No other tile is providing gold, so that's how you can tell. So it has 2 surplus food because why is that? Well, 1 population, right, works 1 tile, so it's 2 food. But by default, the city you found has already 2 food, so total is 4 food. You can actually, oh, right there, it's total 4 food. And each citizen only needs 2. That's why you have 2 surplus, and that surplus means population growth. So let's see what we can build here. Well, the advisor tells us to build a warrior. We could. I mean, we have 1 warrior. We're building a slinger already. You cannot build a settler. Why is that? Well, because you need a population of 2. And guess what? Every time you build a settler, your city population will be decreased by 1, as you can see in the tooltip. So you have to really carefully manage this thing. There's a new building, granary, which has provides +2 housing and food. So if we're short on food, this is a good building, and it's pretty cheap. I want to see what... So this screen we haven't discovered yet, or the game hasn't told us about, but you can see that the housing number is right here. We have 5 housing. That's plenty. So if granary adds another 2 housing, it's not going to make your city grow faster. It's just going to allow your city to grow as you have more food. Let's look at our capital. So our capital has 7 housing, right? Some housing comes from the 2 farms, give it +1 housing, actually. I wish it told us how much housing we have and where it's coming from water. I would think it's 4 housing, but okay. We have 7 housing. Great. We already have taken 3 housing. Each population increment will take housing. So this city will be able to grow to 7, provided we have enough food. After 7, it will need more housing. How do you get more housing? Well, there are different things, but one of them is granary. So you don't need to build it right now. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The good building, I think one of the things we could do for sure is improve land. Okay? Like if we improve the coca, rather, it will provide us more gold, a plantation there. We could also improve quarry. It will provide us extra production. But in this city, right now, that's working chocolate, and then it can work this 2-2 tile. We don't really have to improve stone just yet. So we could build another warrior. Why not? Let's build up our army and see what's out and use it to explore and maybe even attack our opponent. Oh, especially considering the fact that we now have a slinger. And I just skipped a little tooltip they gave us. But Slinger, as I mentioned, is a ranged unit, which is different. They have lower defense strength than their melee fighting counterparts. So it's best to keep them close to the friendly units of that type for protection. They basically help the melee unit attacking other ones. Slingers are really shitty. Even though they're ranged, they can only shoot onto the next tile. So like a melee unit, basically. But when they're upgraded to archers, and that's the whole point of building a slinger, is to upgrade them to archers later, archers can shoot a tile over, which is a whole other story. It makes your ranged unit, your unit, much, much stronger in combat tactics. As you progress through the game and research new technology, you will unlock better, stronger, and more advanced units. Well, just like the archer. Building a strong and diverse fighting force is essential in competing against other civilizations and preserving the safety of your people. Exactly right. What are the new pursuits? So let's see. It is now up to you to decide what you would like to produce in this city. Suggestions. So there are multiple. See, that's where we come to a point where it's up to you to make the decisions on how to develop your civilization and what to build to progress. So one of the options they suggest, you can train another builder and improve more land. But again, I mean, if the city is working these improved tiles, improving more tiles is not going to help. Train a combat unit to expand the size and strength of the military. Well, we're building another combat unit in Thebes. And build a granary to provide more food, which is great, and more housing, which we don't really need yet to your population. So food, we still have a surplus. So I don't think we need a granary. What we need, and as I mentioned before, you should expand. The more cities you build, the more technology it will earn you. Because look, now we are earning technology from 2 cities. More culture it will earn you, and more gold. Look, this second city is bringing in 3 gold already. It's awesome. So in this case, right now, we could build another scout, or I would strongly recommend to expand into like 4 cities as soon as you can. So let's build another settler. And we want to bring our slinger to the west to join with the warrior and keep moving west and see what's out there. But I want to move him this way so that he can explore as he moves towards the warrior. And we can move the warrior out, right? Because we know there's nothing around us. I mean, there are no barbarian camps here and no other civs, so there's no threat. There is no place that the threat could come from. Unless the barbarian camp appears, which they do, then you have to rush to bring your units back. But that's the risk we are going to take. I'm going to keep exploring a little bit of tundra here, and that's okay. So let's go. Next turn. All right. So we finally finished foreign trade. So trader units are available now, right there. And trader units can be trained in one of your cities, in addition to providing additional gold and other benefits. So trader units are essential for building roads between cities. What are the roads for? They're just for faster movement. That's it. There's no other benefit. So we were building a warrior here. We're building a settler here. We could switch. We could switch to the trader, and the production that we wasted on the warrior actually stays. So the warrior only going to take 11 turns instead of, like, if we started a new one, it would be 15. You can see the cost is 4 out of 26. So we made some progress. We could start on the trader, but we have no one to trade with. And domestic trade early does not earn you much. It does not earn you gold, that's for sure. It only earns you food and production. So for new cities, it's actually beneficial. It will help the cities grow. And you can see right here, there's a new icon there appeared. and it shows you trade routes. So we have one trade route available, but 0 built. So we should build more trade routes. And as you hover over things, they will tell you a lot of different things. Okay, this is city-state icon or envoys that we're earning, actually, +1 influence point because of our government. And as we finish the foreign trade, guess what? We can review our policies. So, I mean, we can switch. We have a new policy. Oh, so actually, caravansary will allow us to earn gold on a domestic trade route. So, but we don't have a trade route yet, so selecting caravansary now does not make any sense. Another economic policy, if we were to build builders, actually it makes sense to improve Kolga here, to be honest. So you can always, we haven't wasted any production on the trader yet, but we do need a trader. So it takes 15 turns, but the city will grow, and this number should decrease as they will work more tiles with higher production. In 7 turns, we're going to be done with settler, and we can start on the builder and send that builder to improve land for the new cities. So, oh yeah, so now it tells you that you should build a trade route. So what's the next civic? Well, there are multiple civics. Early empire is super important, actually, because it provides, it gives you a policy of colonization, which will speed up the production of settlers, which are getting more and more expensive, right, with every settler, by 50%. That's awesome. So early empire is extremely important. Because it also offers open borders, and you can purchase tiles. We already have 193 gold, but I think we want to save it and buy another settler. Or we could buy a builder. We could buy a builder. I think it's a great idea. So why not do that? This icon should be, available, but because it's a tutorial, we kind of have to cheat. So let's buy a builder. Zoink. Perfect. Once you buy a builder, and you can see that a new icon appeared. We can improve land with sphinxes, which is a unique thing for Egypt. If you click on your icon here, it will give you again an overview of what Egypt's abilities are. So let's read through it. Our trade routes to other civilization provide +4 gold for us, which is great, but we haven't met anybody. Other civilization trade routes also provide food and gold, which is great. Again, haven't met anybody. Another civilization ability is called Itaru, and it provides production towards extra production bonus towards districts and wonders if placed next to a river. So that means you have to build a district next to a river to get that boost. Floodplains, which is a different type of tile, do not block placement of districts and wonders. Yeah, that's great. Another thing that Egypt comes with is a unique unit, a chariot archer, Mariano chariot archer. That's a pretty serious, actually, ancient unit. It's a ranged chariot, meaning that it's a ranged unit that can move fast, like 4 movement points. So it's awesome. Well, it has to start in open terrain, like grasslands or plains. And then Egypt has Sphinx, which is a unique improvement. And what does Sphinx do? Well, it actually provides faith and culture and appeal. It increases appeal of the tile. And if you build it next to a wonder, or you build a wonder next to a Sphinx, then it's going to provide another 2 faith. So that Sphinx could provide like 3 faith total. Now, you can't build 2 Sphinxes adjacent to each other. And it can be built on floodplains. So floodplains is not a problem for Egypt. It is a problem from some other civs. So Sphinx is a pretty cool improvement. So you have to be kind of strategic of what do you want to do with it. Like, are we like desperate for faith and culture right now? I mean, yeah, we're not getting any faith, so that's kind of sad. But we build monuments, for example, for culture right now. So I don't think we need these things, but why not build it and see how it looks, right? So let's do it. Well, we just purchased the builder. It can't move. It has to move. It will be able to move next turn. All right. So we have to choose a civic. Early empire. It's going to take us a while. A boost is to grow your civilization to 6 pop. Right now, our civilization is what? 4 pop. 3 here and 1 here. In 8 turns, it'll become 2 here and 4 here. It'll become 6 pop, and it will boost early empire. However, the problem is that in 7 turns, we're going to reduce population in Rakaded by 1 right before it hits, it grows to 4. And therefore, we'll not be able to boost early empire. So in this decision, I want to delay the production of a settler by a turn or 2. And so instead of building a settler, I'm going to switch to a builder, because we're going to need a builder for a new city anyway, and wait 2 turns and then switch it back to settler. And that way we'll be able to boost early empire. And these are decisions you kind of learn with the game, as you play more and more. But hopefully this helps you understand that there isn't like a blueprint of what to do exactly. You kind of have to react to things and kind of have to figure out your plan. So I think we're going to go with early empire because it's so important for expansion and building more cities. All right, next unit. Let's keep moving. Oh, we found Gilgamesh. I like how they speak in their own language. That's really cool. Gilgamesh is one of the best opposing civs in the game because he always wants to befriend. So let's say it's an honor and would like to sample your hospitality. When you say that, it actually uncovers a city, their city. Yeah, so we don't know. We don't know what's happened. So we met the leader of another civilization. There are typically several other civs sharing the world. And these are controlled by the game AI. Well, artificial intelligence, that's a little, overreaching here because the game is not very smart overall. Although for a new player, it could be challenging. I'm not going to argue that. Have the same abilities and ambitions that you do. Now, as you play, you will need to consider how to deal with your neighbors and watch them carefully to improve your understanding of their strategy. Yeah, sometimes you'll see like 5 units on your borders or like around in the neutral area moving towards you. Chances are you should start building some units because there might be an altercation. And you want to confront them, early. Or confront them in the defensive positions. Like terrain, for example, will provide combat bonus, defensive bonus, like woods. If you station a unit here, as opposed to like plain tile, flat tile, this would be a better position because it provides bonus. If you're across the river. So the features that you would lose movement points on, like woods, hills, or going across river, they provide combat bonus. Okay. All right, so we met Gilgamesh. And if you want to talk to him again, you click on his icon. And there are a bunch of things we can do. For example, declare surprise war. I think we have more units than he does. You can make a deal. So making a deal is actually useful because you can see how many cities he has. And he does not have any cities listed. That means he only has 1 city, his capital. It usually lists cities beyond your capital because, for example, this means that I can actually gift him a city, which you would never want to do unless you're in a war and you're losing loyalty, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter for this tutorial. But you can see that he's got some money going and he's got a luxury resource that we don't have. So if we wanted to get it, and trade for it, right? We're like, we'll give you all of our money. He was like, he still is not going to sell it to us because it's so important to him and it's his only copy. And it provides amenities. Remember, that's a luxury resource. Anyway, what other things we can do here? Maybe the game would tell us. I don't want to run ahead of the game tutorial. Keep exploring. Let's go. You want to make sure you explore all of the land, because villages sometimes are like on the fringes of the empire. Oh, this is a very small map, right? So we can see it. That's the end. That's the end. So it's probably like a small island. Maybe we can call it. Alright guys, this is the end of part 2 of the tutorial, in-game tutorial series. We have one more episode left and that's it. So hopefully this is helpful. Again, please subscribe, like, leave a comment. Really appreciate it. Thank you.